Hey guys, and today we're going to be building our deck truss system for our bridge. And so we're using our same template that we printed off from our whitebox design. And so this is for our capacity bridge. And you can see that we have our members, our struts, and our deck plates, right? So what we're going to be doing is first we're going to be cutting our struts, right? Which we're going to measure each one using our pen, marker, pencil, whatever you got. So you measure your deck struts length, and then you're going to be cutting them with your scissors or your utility knife, whichever one you have. Okay, so I'm going to measure mine. And so we're going to be cutting the struts first, and then we will cut the deck members. Okay, so as you can see, I'm using some leftover wood from other cuts, so that way I'm not wasting any material. Remember, the material that you have is the material that's the only material that you're going to have. So whatever pieces that you have left over, make sure you keep everything, because when we get to that substructure for our deck, you'll be able to use all those little pieces that you have for support members. Okay, so as I'm just going down, you can see how fast this can go. Okay, so by the end of today, we should have both of our side trusses done and our deck complete. And tomorrow we'll be working on our part 1 of assembly, and we'll also be working on our top struts, or top support members, assembling our bridge. Okay, and so I'm going to be cutting all my struts first. And so I'm going to fast forward a little bit, so that way you don't have to watch me cut every strut. Okay guys, I'm back, and so now we can see that we have all our struts cut, and I've cut every piece for my deck except for one. And the reason why I didn't cut this last piece is because I wanted to show you something. So when you're placing your deck pieces down, you can see that if you place it one way, right, with that crown, it's going to be warped. But if I just turn it over when I do my measurements, you can see how it lines up a lot better, right? So make sure that when you're cutting your pieces, right, and when you're placing your pieces, you're looking at how they are placed and how they align, right? So we don't want a lot of warped pieces like I was just showing you. And so I'm going to measure this last piece out, cut this last piece. Okay. And so now we are complete. Okay. So the next part is going to be our gluing. Okay, and so remember, we're going to be gluing all these struts. So my suggestion to make it easier on you is to tape all your struts down. This will be the only time that you use this template, so it's okay. So we're going to tape all of our struts down into place on our template, and that's going to keep all our struts in place as we're gluing, okay? And so this is just a little tip and trick to help you out. Otherwise, it'll be a little bit more difficult to glue everything into place. And so we're going to tape all our pieces down. And so you can use painter's tape, or you can just use regular Scotch tape, whatever you got available. Okay, you can see I'm using some pretty used tape, right? So this is pretty used tape. And so I'm going to just put an extra piece right here. Okay, so now we have all our struts taped down. And so now what we're doing is we're going to start placing and gluing our members, okay? And so we're going to be placing our members on. And so as close as possible, lining up as close as possible, you want to glue them on there, okay? And so just make sure that when you taped your members down that you're being careful not to... Let's do this real quick. Okay guys, so you can see I've come back now, and I'm going to tape my sides of the pieces. I'm not going to tape them in the center. So if you tape the center, make sure that you tape the sides of your pieces down, just like I have here. Okay, and so now we're going to be taping our deck plates onto our struts. And so to do this, I'm going to be using a little stick right here to apply my glue to where I need it to go. Okay, and so I'm just going to apply the glue in little daubs on each strut. Okay, making sure that the strut is straight. So you may have to adjust it a little bit. because you want that deck plate to be firmly secure on your strut. Okay, and so I'm going to place the first deck plate onto here. And again, remember, when you're placing your deck plates, you want to make sure that you place them to where the curves are going to be in towards your structure, not facing outwards, right? So if the curves are facing outwards, make sure your deck plates are aligned that way. You can see all mine right here. So if I place this one like this, you can see that there's going to be a big curve right here. So I'm going to turn it around. Okay, and I'm just going to keep going. So I'm going to press, I'm going to fast forward you a little bit till we get towards the end. You're going to do the same for each one of these deck plates. Okay guys, so we're here into this last part, and so now we want to make sure that our spacing is correct. So you're going to take a little extra piece of wood like this, and you're just going to make sure that all your spacing is correct between your deck plates, right? Now once you've spaced them, right, you're going to hold them down. You can put something on top of them, like a little book or some type of something not too heavy, but enough to hold it in place, right? So what I'm going to be using is probably going to be like a little piece of wood or something. And then so what I'm going to do is space the other side now. Okay, so you're going to space the other side. Then once you have it all spaced, right, so you have them both sides nicely spaced, now you can put your book or something on top of that, right? And that's what's going to hold it in place. Yep. All right, and so that is your deck plate. Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, make sure you only tape the sides. You're going to let this completely dry, and then when you move it up and you take it off your template, it should be in place. Make sure you do the spacing. Make sure you put a book on top of that to hold all of those deck plates into place. Okay, so I'm going to put a book right now and let this dry in place. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is part 3, right? So right now what you should have by the end of this video, you should have both of your side trusses and you should have your deck plate. Okay, next part is going to be assembly, where we're going to be assembling our side trusses onto our deck plate. So the picture that you submit today should be of something similar to this. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you later.